So our next topic is today lateral ventricle. What is lateral ventricle? It is a cavity inside the cerebral hemisphere. So we have two lateral ventricle in each cerebral hemisphere, right and left. And like these two lateral ventricle have the common medial wall that is known as the septum pellucidum. Here you can see a thin wall. This is the medial wall common for both the lateral ventricles. This is known as septum pellucidum. Now this septum pellucidum is common for both. Now you will see this lateral ventricle is connected to the third ventricle. Third ventricle is a cavity between the two thalami through this interventricular foramen of Monro here. Okay? This is the interventricular foramen of Monro. And from here the third ventricle is connected to the fourth ventricle through this cerebral aqueduct. That is the cavity of the midbrain. Here also you can see the cerebral aqueduct has the we have the pineal gland here. You can see pineal gland. This pineal gland is attached to the third ventricle with the help of two lamina, superior lamina, inferior lamina. This is the mammillary body here. This is mammillary body here, and this is the optic chiasma. Okay. Now here you can see this is the corpus callosum, as you already know in the previous lecture. The parts of the corpus callosum is genu. This is genu. This is rostrum. Okay, this one. This is the trunk or body, and this is splenium, and this is the fornix. Okay, between the fornix and thalamus, you can see a fissure that is known as choroid fissure. Through this choroid fissure, a tuft of capillaries known as choroid plexus is going inside the lateral ventricle, and the function of this choroid plexus is to form the CSF. Okay, now you will see here I can show you. This is the adnexa. Here also you can see the pineal gland, okay, cerebral aqueduct, mammillary bodies, adnexa thalami. This is the connection between the two thalami, right and left. This is the foramen of Monro here, and this is the cavity inside the lateral ventricle here. Okay. So we have divided the lateral ventricle into the parts. The central part extends from this foramen of Monro. Here we can say an imaginary line is drawn between the foramen of Monro and up to the splenium. So this is the central part of lateral ventricle. So we have the various extensions of the lateral ventricle. One is the anterior extension that is going anteriorly into the frontal lobe. The posterior one is going posterior into the occipital lobe, and we have the inferior extension going inferiorly into the temporal lobe. Now we will see the boundaries of, first of all, the boundaries of the central part. Superiorly we have the roof. The roof is formed by the central part of the corpus callosum. This is the central or trunk of the corpus callosum. In the floor we have, this is the caudate nucleus. Here also you can see this is the caudate nucleus. Okay. This is the caudate nucleus here. This rounded structure. This one. This rounded structure is the caudate nucleus. Okay? So this caudate nucleus is forming the floor in the upper part, in the central part, and forming the roof of the inferior horn. Okay? This whole is the caudate nucleus surrounding the thalamus. This is the thalamus, and this caudate nucleus starting here, going surrounding round like this, and inferiorly into the temporal lobe. Now you can see the various part. The central part I told you, roof is formed by the corpus callosum, and floor medially by the, here equilaterally with the caudate nucleus and the thalamus, and in between two we have the stria terminalis and thalamostrate vein, which you can't see here. Now anterior horn is extending anteriorly. It is extending anteriorly, okay, like this into the frontal lobe. Okay. Now what is the boundaries? Superiorly we have the corpus callosum. Okay. Inferiorly we have the caudate nucleus, the head of the caudate nucleus. Okay. Anteriorly and inferiorly or floor we can say. In the floor we have the head of the caudate nucleus. On the roof we have the corpus callosum, and we have also inferiorly we have the rostrum, and anteriorly we have the genu. Okay. So this is the anterior horn here. Now we have the posterior horn going posteriorly. Okay, this like this, posterior horn going posteriorly into the occipital lobe. Now posteriorly, where it is going, this is the posterior structure going into the occipital lobe. Superiorly we have the corpus callosum, and inferiorly we have the caudate. Inferiorly, like we can say, we have the medial wall and the lateral wall. Superiorly, there are the fibers of the tapetum. What is tapetum? They are the fibers from the splenium of the corpus callosum. So here we have roof is formed by the tapetum. It forms roof as well as lateral wall. Medially, we will see the elevation. The elevation here you can see. This elevation is formed here. This elevation here is formed by the, this is known as the bulb of the posterior horn. It is formed by the forceps major of the splenium. Okay, so this is the posterior horn. Inferior horn is here. The inferior horn, the roof is formed by the tapetum and the caudate nucleus, the tail of the caudate nucleus, and the floor is formed by the, this is the hippocampus. This is the hippocampus. Here you can say the dentate part, the dentate-like structure. This is the hippocampus, like this one. This one is the hippocampus, and more below we can see we have the collateral eminence. The collateral eminence is formed by the, this is the calcarine. This is the collateral sulcus. The elevation formed by this sulcus. Okay, so here you can see the anterior horn. This is the central part. Okay, central part. This is the elevation here forming this elevation. Here you can see this elevation. This elevation is the caudate nucleus. This is the head of caudate nucleus. This is the body, and then below it is the tail here. So this is the anterior horn. This is the posterior horn, and we have the inferior horn in the temporal lobe. Okay, thank you so much.